Once upon a time in a quaint little village, there lived a magical cat named Whiskers. Whiskers was no ordinary feline, he possessed the ability to grant wishes. Though his magical powers were a well-kept secret, the villagers often found themselves in awe of his mysterious ways. Whiskers lived in a cozy house nestled at the edge of the village, where he spent his days basking in the warm sunlight and napping on his favorite cushion. Anyone who crossed paths with him would immediately be captivated by his mesmerizing eyes and his soft fur, that shimmered as if sprinkled with stardust. Word of the magical cat quickly spread throughout the village, and whispers of his enchanting abilities filled the air. One by one, villagers would summon up the courage to visit Whiskers and make their deepest desires known. The first to seek his help was a kind old woman named Mrs. Thompson. She wished to have her beloved rose garden flourish once again, after years of being barren. Whiskers listened intently to her plea, gently rubbing his face against her leg as if to reassure her. With a flick of his tail, he vanished into thin air, leaving Mrs. Thompson in anticipation. Days turned into weeks, and the entire village watched in awe as Mrs. Thompson's garden transformed into a vibrant display of roses in every color imaginable. The townsfolk marveled at the sight, knowing that Whiskers had worked his magic once again. As news of this remarkable transformation spread, the villagers grew more eager to seek Whiskers' assistance. Families hoped for prosperity, young couples yearned for true love, and children dreamed of having their wildest fantasies come true. Whiskers, with his compassionate heart, tirelessly listened to each wish, sometimes purring gently in acknowledgement. His magical abilities were boundless, yet he used them with great care, only granting wishes that would bring joy and happiness to the requester and the village as a whole. One day, a young boy named Oliver held a tiny sparrow in his hands. Its wings were damaged, and Oliver's heart ached for the creature's struggle to fly. He carried the injured bird to Whiskers, tears streaming down his face. Whiskers gently nudged the sparrow with his paw and closed his eyes in concentration. In an instant, a burst of magical energy surrounded the sparrow, mending its wings and restoring its ability to fly. Oliver watched in amazement as the bird soared back into the sky, singing a joyful tune. Oliver, filled with gratitude, turned to thank Whiskers, but the magical cat had vanished, leaving behind only the memory of his kind deeds. As years passed, the village thrived, and the tales of Whiskers and his miracles grew into legends. People visited the village from far and wide, hoping to catch a glimpse of the magical cat and maybe even have their wishes granted. But Whiskers had vanished, his presence no longer felt in the village he had once enchanted. Some believed he had fulfilled his purpose and moved on to spread his magic elsewhere, while others believed he had ascended to the heavens, becoming a guiding star in the night sky. Though Whiskers was gone, his legacy lived on. The people of the village would often gather around the old oak tree, where a statue of Whiskers had been erected, honoring him as a symbol